Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Now, we have the summer vacation just right in front of us, a month or two away, so June or July could feel a little bit longer than usual, of course. And I know how everyone works so hard all over the world, and we all need is a little break sometimes. And of course, many of our listeners ask me on Twitter as well. I've been, pretty busy, of course, and they're always wondering, Brian, are you going to go on vacation? Don't you need a break? Yes, I do, but don't worry. We have some good songs today that'll kind of make us feel like we're on vacation. And of course, it's a Monday, so a lot of people are probably sad because the weekend is over and they're like, we have to go back to work. So the song that we got for you guys right now, hopefully it'll brighten up your Monday with a little bit of happiness. And that's the song we have set up for you guys right now. CeeLo Green, Happiness. That was Happiness by CeeLo Green. And right now you guys are tuning in to What's Poppin' with Brian Ju on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and its surrounding areas, GFN 98.7 in Gwangju, and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, how to get in contact with us? Pretty simple. Send us a text message to sharper pound 1013 for a charge of 51. Hit us up on Kakao Talk for free messaging, of course. But to do that, add us TBS efm, that is, as a plus friend. Also, if you haven't already, please follow us on Twitter and tell all your friends and family as well to do the same thing and tweet us away at TBS What's Poppin'. Also, if you have an email, the email address is efmpoppin@gmail.com, and feel free to say anything, even a shout out to us here at What's Poppin'. And if you're curious about our playlist, please come check it out at our website, tbsefm.soul.kr/efm/What's Poppin'. For now, a word from our sponsors. Alrighty, it's time for today's pick. And now we all know that Seoul is already well known for one of the largest cities in the world. But did you know the Seoul capital area, which includes the surrounding Incheon metropolis and the Gyeonggi province, is in the top 5 list of the largest urban areas in the world with over 20 million residents. Now, even though Seoul population drops below 10 million for the first time in 25 years, it doesn't mean less people commuting in and out of Seoul. So you can imagine what it's like in the subway or bus during rush hours. Actually, even after the 8 rush hours, subway line number 2 is as packed as 8 a.m. in the morning. Can you believe that? Now, my rider, of course, now this is her own experience, having to ride the subway line number 2 at 10 p.m. one night. And even though there are no special events going on and, nothing crazy going on in the evening, she was experiencing the same rush hours at the same time, like as if a million people were on the train. Now, she ended up screaming a few times, trying to avoid people because people, they're rude sometimes. They're shoving her around, kicking her to the side because they're in her way. And, of course, there are a few tips on avoiding this crazy zombie-like experience on the subways. But, to be honest, sometimes you just can't avoid it. That's just what it's called, man. It's called Seoul, and you can't avoid it. Now, even if you're up early and manage to ride the subway around 7 a.m., if the train gets a little delay, then you end up, getting a huge crowd of people up on the train and gets annoying. So, if you're one of those people suffering deadly from the rush hours of the mornings or the evenings or the zombie-crowded subways, we have the perfect song for you. You know what you need to do? You need to run away. Joking, you don't actually want to run away because you'll be late for work. But that's the song that we have for you guys right now. This is Bruno Mars with Runaway. That was Bruno Mars singing Runaway Baby. Yes, I said Runaway earlier, but the actual song is called Runaway Baby. Now, this song is from his first debut album, Doo-Wops and Hooligans, which was released back in 2010. Now, this album included all the hit songs, Just the Way You Are, Grenade, The Lazy Song, and Marry You, of course. And he won a Grammy Award back in 2011 for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance for his song, Just the Way You Are. I love that song. And in 2012, this album was nominated for a total of 7 Grammy Awards. And in 2012, of course. And including the Album of the Year and for Best Pop Vocal Album, but he lost most of them to Adele. Yes, the UK artist herself. But don't be too sad because, he won Best Pop Vocal Album this year in 2014. And he knows, even without receiving awards, I know this feeling as well. You don't need awards because you know how many people love your music, Bruno? People love your music. That's why you're on TV. And this year, at the Super Bowl, you had more viewers than Beyonce did last year. So congrats to you. Now, the next artist moving on is also a big fan of Bruno Mars, and she covered Grenade during her concerts. And we're talking about Melanie Fiona. Now, she's a beautiful artist from Canada. And before she debuted solo, she was in a few girl groups, and one of the groups were called the Renaissance. And of course, the person that I always talk negatively about, Drake, was up in that group. Anyways, the song we're going to play for you guys is from her second studio album, The MF Life. And she worked with many amazing artists. And the next song, John Legend is singing with her, of course. And of course, any song that John Legend is on is a masterpiece. So check it out. This is Melanie Fiona featuring John Legend with L-O-V-E. Now, if you don't like that track, you got problems. That was Melanie Fiona featuring John Legend with L-O-V-E. Now, as we mentioned before, the song is from her second album, The MF Life. And if you guys are wondering what the MF stands for, I was curious too. It actually stands for her name, Melanie Fiona. Now, on this album, she talked about her life and how she got to work with musicians that she's always been a fan of for the longest time. And that includes Nas, B.O.B., T-Pain, J. Cole, and of course, you just heard him yourself, John the Legend. So please check out the rest of the tracks on her second album because you won't be disappointed because, of course, she worked with so many great, talented artists, and she's a talented artist herself, like I said. So if you want to check her out, go online, listen to her music. If you like it, go buy the album. Now, moving on to the next song. And the next song is going to be the last song for the first half of our show. Now, the last song is actually an uppity up song. Like we said, it's Monday. And, of course, Monday is about funky music. But this song isn't really funky. This song is more upbeat. It's going to make you feel good. You know, it's got a nice beat to it. You know, let me give you a hint. Here we go. That's all I'm going to give you a hint on. Well, of course, I'm going to tell you what the song is in a little bit, but let me talk about the group right now. We're talking about a talented group of people by the name of Far East Movement. Now, of course, the best known album is Like a G6, which hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart back in late October 2010. Now, Far East Movement has the distinction of being the first Asian American group to earn number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the U.S. Yes, and they consist of, I think, 4 guys, 2 being Korean Americans. And did you know that the 2 Korean American members actually tried to make it here in Korea first? That didn't work, so they went back to the States, made a group, and they blew up. Yes, they did. See, like we said, sometimes you need to make chances. You need to take that, risk. A lot of people are too scared to take that risk, and they did that. And anyways, Like a G6 and their other songs are mostly about partying out loud, but they also have some great songs as well on their albums, not just partying. But to uplift your Monday morning, we want to play a feel-good song for you guys. We're not going to play Like a G6 because it's too early to be like popping bottles in the ice. No, we're not popping bottles in the ice at 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning. We're actually going to play a song called Rocketeer, which is co-written by Bruno Mars and his production team, the Smeezingtons. Now, there are 2 different versions of the song. One, Bruno Mars singing the chorus on, and the other one, Ryan Tedder. And of course, Ryan Tedder's version was the one that was selected. Did you know that? Could you imagine if Bruno Mars's version was on that? Like, I could just totally see Bruno Mars singing that part. He's got more of a raspier voice than Ryan Tedder. So either way, both artists sound good on the track. Of course, they have their own unique style, but Ryan Tedder, he got the vote. He's on the album. So check it out. This is Far East Movement featuring Ryan Tedder with Rocketeer. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of What's Poppin'. This is your boy, Brian Jew, and soon we're going to be back with Jump Up and Get Down. And you know what that means? That means we're going to play some funky music to get your Monday started right. But for now, a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to the second half. It's Monday, which means we got Jump Up and Get Down. We're going to play some upbeat music for y'all. Mostly funky ones. No cray-cray, EDM, club music, but we got some funky music for you guys right now. Now, we played a few feel-good songs to uplift your morning earlier to get you ready for the funky segment, of course. Now, the first band we have for you guys right now is a band called Confunction. Yes, Confunction. Now, they're an American R&B and funk band popular in the 1970s and 80s, and their influences include James Brown and Sly and the Family Stone. And we played quite a number of the Sly and the Family Stone songs back a few weeks ago, of course. They're pretty popular here at What's Poppin'. So maybe you guys can catch their influence while listening to this next song. Now, they've been playing together ever since they were in high school in California, and that was back in 1976. Then they signed with Chicago-based recording label, and the band has released 11 albums over a span of 10 years, and they were certified gold a couple of times. Now, if you guys are curious about what it takes to be certified gold, we got that information for y'all right now. Now, in the United States, to sell over 500,000 copies, that's how you get certified gold. And if you want to go platinum, you have to sell over 1 million copies. So double. There you go. Well, enough about the certification. Now, the first song we're going to play for you guys is called Chase Me. So get ready to dance along to this song, because I love the lyrics in the song, especially how can you sit? How can you just sit there and be so cool? So if you're in the office right now, tap your fingers, bob your heads, shake your shoulders, do something groovy to the track, because we got some confunction for y'all. Chase Me. Yeah, that was Confunction with Chase Me. Now, what you guys think about the flute solo in the middle of the track? Now, it's not usual to have a flute solo in a funk track, but that's pretty awesome. Yes, in my opinion. Now, if you think you guys had enough dancing, you're wrong, because the next song is even funkier with a groovier track and groovier sound. And the main singer reminds me a little bit of Prince's style, you know. And the band is called The Bar-Kays. Now, they're an American soul and R&B and funk group formed back in 1966. And this latest album was their 20th album, released back in 2012. They have been together for almost 50 years. Oh my gosh. And the song we're going to play for you guys is from the debut album that came out in 1976. And the song was still funky enough to be on soundtracks back in 2007 for the film called Superbad. Now, the song was played during the opening credits of the film. Also, the song was featured in a Chris Rock and Bernie Mac film called Head of State. Now, both films were quite funny, so if you need a good laugh, I recommend these movies. Y'all go home. You can't rent videos anymore. It's not like we have a Blockbuster around the corner, but y'all can rent it online and y'all can laugh with it. Anyways, right now, it's not time to laugh. It's time to get down. So we have the song for you guys right now, The Bar-Kays with Too Hot to Stop. Yeah, Lynn Collins knows how to funk it up. That was Mama Feel Good. Now, that was a great song, perfect song for our Monday. And if this song can't uplift your mood, I don't know what can. Y'all too picky. Now, Lynn Collins was an American soul singer, best known for working with James Brown back in 1970s, hence why she has that James Brown funkiness in her voice. Now, her biggest hit was Think About It, and James Brown produced the gospel-style song. People called her the female preacher. And I can tell why people are calling her with that title, because I can picture her preaching to, a huge congregation with that positive, strong tone in her voice and people being attracted to it. That's very important. Now, the last song that we have for you guys right now is, in my mind, the king of funk, and we got Mr. Stevie Wonder. Now, the song is called Superstition. It's a funky song, of course, because it's our Mondays. And he actually appeared in one of the commercials during the Super Bowl in 2013, of course, a song, as a witch doctor, and the song was playing in the background. Now, it's amazing how he still knows how to funk up his mood for all his fans and how he loves to get down and groove. So with no further ado, it's the last song for our segment, of course, and this is Stevie Wonder with Superstition. That was Stevie Wonder with Superstition. Now, if you don't know that track, you living under a rock. I know I said that before on another day, but that's true. That song is amazing. But guess what, y'all? It is time to say goodbye to all my friends, because I got places to be. Yes, that's very true. But thank you once again for tuning in on this wonderful Monday morning. Now, the last song for you guys right now is, of course, my favorite artist, number 2. Number 1 is Michael Jackson. Number 2 is his sister, of course, Janet Jackson. I love her, man. If you don't love no Janet, you need to go online, do some research, look up her old stuff, because Janet is an amazing dancer, performer, and she is still beautiful at her age. And the song that we have for you guys right now, it's going to make you want to dance. It's called All For You. But don't be too sad, because I'll be back tomorrow with Joe Park at 9:05 sharp. Once again, this is Brian Jew signing off. Peace.